Welcome back, fellow gamer. So I want to talk to you about Conspiracy 2, or as it's properly called, Conspiracy Take the Throne. Full set spoilers were finally revealed today, being Monday. Most of the set was released over the weekend, though, as people were drafting in a special type of promotion, right? Where people were revealing cards as they drafted them. It was a pretty cool way of spoiling cards. But nevertheless, there's now a lot of buzz with the full set spoiler. A lot of people are actually pretty excited what's behind this set. You know, there's a lot of finance people that are looking at this, and there's a lot of people that are just looking again staples or interesting new cards that are really excited about this set. More so, a lot of people are dubbing Conspiracy 2 as Eternal Masters 2, or what Eternal Masters should have been. So first I want to go through the interesting new cards. One of them that comes to mind right away is the Recruiter of the Guard. And a lot of people are comparing it to Imperial Recruiter, and fairly so. They're both small bodies that when they enter the battlefield, they'll fetch a relatively small creature from your deck, and you can then get to play it. Now, obviously, Imperial Recruiter targets a different type of card because one cares about fetching toughness, the other cares about fetching power. So there is that distinction, but it is fair to note that this now being in white is pretty exciting. There is a lot of potential. Another one that's really cool is Sanctum's Prelate, and I find that has some room to grow in a tax type of deck or other different types of archetypes that are played in multiple different formats. Myself, I'm looking at making a Talia deck for Commander, and I'm thinking of, being really... I want to say mean, but I guess just being a dick and trying to fit as much of these cards in as possible and see where it leads. So that has me excited. There's a lot of different cards that are packed in the set. I'm just giving off two, but there's a lot of different potential in the new cards that are presented. I knew the new Marchesa provides a different avenue for Mardu colored decks that want to do something different. I myself was looking for a Mardu deck, but I didn't want to play any of the existing commanders, as I mentioned in my last conspiracy video. And there's others. There's other cards, but I want to dial it back and go to looking at the much-needed reprints. I already mentioned one of them in the Inquisition at Kozlik, and it's got some awesome new art. It is shifted up in rarity, which is having some people kind of question it. And I'm generally of the camp that says, upshifts and rarity suck, but it is what it is, and for a draft set, that excuse is valid. And obviously Serum Visions is another one that people have been dying to get a reprint of. Ever since Theros, where, forget the card, but everybody thought the art, which was spoiled ahead of time, was going to be Serum Visions. So it kind of hyped the card up a bit. I think that might have been what caused a bit of the inflation, is that people paid attention to that card not being reprinted and kind of invested into it. And I feel that kind of happens with a lot of the cards when there's a missed reprint. You obviously see the cards spike, but I'd wonder in like a different parallel universe, if nobody talked about these reprints not being printed, if the prices would actually jump that much. It's kind of the people that are complaining are shooting themselves in their own foot. Is what it is. And of course, we touch on the money cards. Cards like Show and Tell and Berserk are two cards that I actually was quite surprised at Show and Tell, but it fits flavorfully in a multiplayer setting to have a card like Show and Tell show up. And Berserk was also unexpected, hovering at $90. That this is a card that's probably going to tank hard in price because it only is played in a few select fringe decks. These are two cards that would have been inserted into Eternal Masters, and maybe you take out the two Lowest Mythics that were in that set. Maybe people's opinion of Eternal Masters would differ greatly, but I actually like that it's in a set like this where it's a print on demand, meaning that they'll just keep printing. It's not a limited print run like the Modern Masters and Eternal Master sets were. And thankfully, you have a reasonable MSRP, so if you want to get these reprint cards, you can. You don't have to buy them right out the gate if you don't need them. Wait for the market to saturate, especially during opening weekend where you're going to have a lot of people firing off drafts. So definitely hold off there if you just want to buy the singles and wait for the prices to come down a bit, because they will come down. And speaking of that, this set will be drafted a lot because it looks like, at least, a really fun draft environment. Now, it is, like I mentioned, a draft on demand set, and I like the way Wizards of the Coast did this because with Modern Masters and Eternal Masters, local gaming stores are already hike the price up. If you don't get a good store that pre-orders, and keeps its pre-order price at what it is and doesn't cancel your order, those are hard to find. So a lot of local gaming stores will hike up their prices ahead of time. In this, there was no like warning for people to hike up their price, and I feel that if these cards were announced much sooner, you would have seen a price hike. Like if the conspiracy announcement launched with like show and tell as one of their marquee cards, you might have seen a higher price point. Thankfully, that's not the case. And if you do see local gaming stores with a higher MSRP, I would actually just go find another game store, because these, again, are printed on demand. You shouldn't be paying over MSRP for a draft. And I, for one, welcome more sets like Conspiracy. I've been a pretty vocal proponent, even before I had my YouTube channel, about how the master sets, there we go, should be, see, that's a tongue twister for me. Master sets should not be draft focused, because the goal of the master sets should be, as it's mentioned in the announcements, to get reprints into the hands of players who want to play those formats, whether they be modern, legacy, pauper, vintage, whatever. I think I called modern an eternal set. It's not. It's a non-rotating set, so I do apologize if I did. See, I caught that on the fly. This is a great avenue for a draft set. If you want to make something draft focused, you already have standard products that do that, but now you have another one that you get those reprints, make it that really fun environment. People are really excited. Like, you have Draft Matters cards. Now, yes, you know, they might not be useful to the players of constructed formats, but they are a great twist. And if you do have if you do have a cube, you can slot these in for even additional fun, more longevity to the conspiracy cards or the draft matter cards. So taking that into consideration, I would actually be more inclined to accept a more frequent printing of conspiracy if that meant that these modern master sets and eternal master sets can do away with the excuse that we didn't include this because of draft reasons, or draft this, draft that. No, keep drafting to standard sets and to conspiracy sets, because that's where people are really willing to accept it, and we're not being gouged $45, $50, $65 to draft an eternal master set. So even though I'm not going to be buying conspiracy, mainly because I have a lot of the foils that were reprinted, and I don't really draft in person, I still really appreciate the set. I think they did a great job. I think whoever was in charge of designing the set, like, a tip of the hat to you, sir. I would love to know your opinion on Conspiracy 2. Electric Boogaloo. Where do you fall? Are you excited by this set? Do you like the reprints? Is there anything besides Damnation that you would wish there have been reprinted? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Now don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you'd like to see more, click on one of the 2 videos that are there, or click on show more in the description below to see when and what we upload, as well as when we stream. And if you need an update on what exactly we're going to be streaming that week, don't be shy to hit us up in the comments or reach out to us on Twitter. We'll be more than happy to chat. Until next time, good gaming.